So welcome back to our channel. We are here to do a get to know the founders of Wmnswear Q&A. So we asked you guys some questions on our socials about what you would want to ask us and know more about us, because I feel like, well, we feel like that people don't really know much about us as the founders of Wmnswear and what we do. First question is, why did we name it Wmnswear?
Well, you named it, so.
Literally.
We had a lingerie line, and I think it was because we were just fed up. We weren't really feeling motivated or anything like that. So then we started saying that we wanted a clothing line instead, and that's something that we're passionate about. And then we started thinking, okay, what could be the name? So we started to just write down a list of names and just kind of like tweak it, play around with words, play on words, etc., etc. And I think we started to think of like acronyms, because that's something as well that we liked, because I don't know, it just looks good visually, as well as would like stand out and be memorable. And then yeah, I think I said the name in the group chat because I actually felt like I already wanted this name, but I thought, what would these lot pick? And these were actually picked Wmnswear. So, well, it was actually women's, but WMNS. But when it came to the Instagram, it was obviously taken. So we just said Wmnswear. But the actual name was that we wanted it to be women's, but due to, I don't know what you'd call it, legal reasons, trademark reasons, we can't obviously just have the women's.
And what about the fact that it had a double meaning?
Oh,
that was
yeah.
quite clever. That was something that you done.
The double meaning stands for we make nothing simple, so that is also a double meaning because we don't make anything simple. So yeah, that was a smart move on Lola's part. So don't tell me to don't. I'll put that in. Don't. Yeah, put in her richness. Okay, so next question.
Switch round, yeah.
Go ahead. So the next question is, how long have you known each other?
15.
I don't even know how long it's been. I think it's longer than 15.
Maybe
17.
Maybe 17 then.
No, we're showing my age.
We knew you at the same time.
Yeah,
So it's not different years.
19 years.
Ah!
Because you're 11, right?
Yeah, I was 11. Yeah, everyone's 11.
Well, it's actually for me it's 18 because I am the youngest here. Just want to put that out there.
Well, no, you didn't stop school.
Oh, what are you talking about?
You're making it look like we were bottom set, and she was actually not.
Okay, thank you. We know what we are.
19
It's 19 years,
19
that's
years.
it.
Okay, this is a lovely question because it's easy to answer. Who got into trouble the most growing up?
I think this is just a point one. And one.
Anyways, can I just say something?
Go ahead.
There's some people that are good at not getting caught.
Zazina.
You,
Because I was always getting in trouble for
you
Zazina.
two were getting in trouble.
Me?
No,
I was never getting in
Can I
trouble.
just land?
What trouble was
Can I just land? I'm actually going to tell this story because we've told it hundreds of times, but we're gonna go back to the time when it was a snow day. Us lot have walked to school. There was no buses running, no nothing running. We've gone to school, and we've queued up. We've realised that no one's turning up to school, so clearly school's not on. We then decided to leave because why are we going to be at school when our peers are not at school? So we left the sports school where we were supposed to line up for, registrar or whatever. When we came back, I think it was the next day or later on that day, I don't remember, they basically called all of our group. Our head of year called us and was like, basically questioning us, like, why did we leave? Basically, why did we bunk school? Like normal children, we denied it. We lied, cried and denied about it. We said, we don't know. Everybody went round, one by one, everyone was asked, why did you leave? Why did you leave? Valerie decided to say, I felt like it. So, who of us three is actually the worst person here, or the naughtiest?
What I actually...
No, you've got a list of offences. You've actually got a list of offences.
What did you actually say?
What I actually said was, we were wasting time, waiting there for so long, and yeah, that is why I left. I was honest.
that whether she's honest or not, is that something you say to a teacher? But that's what Valerie decided to say. We all burst out laughing and we all nearly got suspended. But that's the story of Valerie. You can see our personalities from that story, and you know he's
integral.
Yeah.
In general, though, they're just the
You're
just a naughty child. That's fine. You're not a naughty adult, but you were a naughty child.
I'd like to be good.
Okay. How did you know you could get into business with each other? Well, I feel like the last example pretty much sums us up. We get on, we've been friends for years, and our personalities gel and work together. Obviously, everything is a bit of trial and error anyway, but it basically made sense at the time because me and Lola had a business, the lingerie business, and then Valerie also had a business, a clothing line for bare basics. So it's like, if we all have businesses that are similar, why don't we just come together rather than having two separate headaches? Let's just bring it into one. You don't want to add anything? And obviously, we love each other.
I don't think we knew.
Yeah.
That, as per se, I don't think we knew that we were going to be great business partners. But I guess it's all about what is your end goal. Because even if you lot are, I feel like even if as people we don't align or we don't agree on certain things, the goal is that we want to make this money, and that's the truth. So we all know what we need to do here. Whereas I feel like sometimes friends going into business, they might not even, one might be like, yeah, I want to be famous, and the other one's like, yeah, I want to be rich. Then the goal is
different
not
end
aligned.
goals. Yeah.
It's like when you go to work, you don't, I guess it's different because we picked each other, but when you go to work and you have an end goal, even if you have a difficult colleague, you kind of make it work because you've got a project. So in the same way, like I know it's a bit of a, don't go into business with your friend, or you can, like if people sit on the fence about it, but if you, as the goal is just to make money, if you share a goal with someone, even if things are rough, if you're in it for the long haul, you kind of just make it work.
Next question is, how would you describe your friendship?
These are my sisters.
Yeah.
That's Lazarus that
Call
will say.
Tommy and ask him to describe our friendship.
My dad would say that we are sisters.
Yeah, these are my sisters.
These are my daughters.
If my mum can't get through to me, she calls these lots phone, and I don't understand why, because if I'm not answering, then I don't want to be spoken to.
Yeah, I would just say like we're sisters. We have a really strong bond. Nobody can break us. People have tried, and I'm joking.
Oh yeah, they have.
And bleep it out.
People have tried to separate
Yeah, bleep it
us.
out.
People have not my friends. They're not for me, but
Yeah, these are
so it's here
these
now.
are
Also, I want to add that I know people that have siblings and you don't gel with them, and that's a bit different.
Yeah.
But this is like if everyone had the opportunity to have sisters, and God said, "Oh, who would you like to be your sisters?" Like, or like you're in a PE line and your teacher says, "Pick who you want on your team."
But they would have picked me to be on that PE.
Yeah, for sports. Yeah, I can't lie. Like, even though you're not athletic, I would still choose.
Yeah, I know you
I have nepotism. I would
Your
still choose
team
it.
is not always about the strongest
Yeah,
player.
it's true.
You're as strong as your weakest player, so you have to work together.
It's
Yeah,
true.
these are the
It's true.
sisters that I would choose, because I ain't got no sisters, and
Yeah.
a lot of you can't be my sisters. So
What's the best thing you like about each other? There's nothing. Don't like anything.
I am that girl that says to my man, "What do you like about me?" every night. I need to know, and if you can tell me you don't, nothing, you're not sure.
Nothing, obviously, I'm
You're not sure.
Okay, I've had a think now in this moment. Okay, with Valerie, I feel like she's a good listener. And she is funny as hell. Even though I don't really want to admit that, but she is very funny.
You say it all the time.
She says some crazy things, like she's just insane. The things that come out of her mouth sometimes when we're having our group chats. So I'll give you those are the two things, but there's more. With Lola, God, this girl. She is the pain in my ass, but in a good way, because she just always we live together, she just always yapping in my ear, just doing.
That's the best thing you
Yes,
like about me.
it is. It's annoying, but it's almost like that's my normality. So if Lola, if there wasn't somebody doing crazy things like, Laza, you're a dirty girl, like just random things in my ear on a daily basis, I wouldn't actually feel normal. The randomness and the craziness of this girl is what I like. Deep down, that's what I like, even though I say I don't like it, but yeah.
Well, I like that.
Okay, you're struggling.
I'm not struggling actually. I'm just trying to. There's a few favourites actually for me, but I'm gonna say what my favourite is. My favourite is I'm not always there when you call for Valerie, meaning that whenever I call Valerie, she always answers, even if she's been splashed by rain. She will answer the phone. She will answer the phone. And she will be there. If I tell her that something is happening, she will be there. So I guess maybe reliable, that's the word. My thing for Lazo is that we can be very telepathic, in the sense that sometimes I see silly things, I don't want to speak about it because I think I'm being crazy, and then I asked her and she said, yeah, she saw it too. And that's a good bond that we have there.
Yeah, or sometimes I'll just say it and then be like, I'm feeling it.
Yeah. So that's great for us. Anyways, Valerie.
I mean, I could choose a lot of things. I will say that for you've shown me a form of unconditional love without you don't necessarily have to say it, but I feel like it's almost like, I feel like Liza is like an extension of me, in a sense that she's opened her family to me, her home to me.
I'm gonna cry!
And yeah, I don't know what I can pick as like one thing, but I'd say like the love. It's hard to explain. Below that, that's also tough to pick just one. But one thing that I think that is really good is you're a true man of your word.
Oh, girl!
Many people are not.
Oh.
And yeah, I think that when she says that she's gonna do something, she will do it, and even if it's like difficult or there's obstacles along the way, like even if that's like in being present for somebody or like in life, she always like puts her best foot forward. And yes, I think those are my two.
Wow.
That was really beautiful. I think yours was the best.
That was fantastic. I
will say that.
I can't even. Wow. Touched my soul.
So the next question is, what's the worst things you like about each other?
Okay, I can go first.
Okay.
For Valerie. Valerie will say the things that you've not even thought of. What did you call her the other day? She's a novelist. She writes like a poet. Rude things that make you laugh. Make you laugh when you're meant to be on your walk with God. And then
No.
And I am. Right. Sometimes I see things and I don't want to discuss it. I think.
So I take you off your walk with God.
No, you don't. As for Elizabeth is, if you tell her to touch her right ear, as in touch your ear, Liza will do this.
No, I wouldn't.
And I will look at her. And
I was
I'll be
gonna
like,
do. I was thinking it should make sense to do this, innit? But
Yeah.
I wanted to do this.
You see?
And that is, what did I say? Yeah.
So I don't know what to say. I just look at her sometimes
Maybe
and I
it's a
just
form of
think, wow,
spectrum.
that's not how we should be doing it. But who knows?
My worst thing about Lola, even though I've learnt to cope with it now, is that sometimes she's a bit deaf. So I'll be speaking to her and I'll have said a whole heap of stuff and she's like, what? Huh? pardon, repeat that. And I've repeated it 3 times and she's still not hearing what I'm saying. So I would say that's my worst thing.
I blame AirPods because I wasn't like that before.
Yeah, it's definitely the AirPods. What I want to say for Valerie is that sometimes I can be a bit of a angry beaver, and I feel like Valerie, she'll just tell me that I'm doing too much.
Relax.
Yeah, like she'll tell me that I need to relax, but in that moment I don't want to relax. So it's like, yeah, you know, like when you've got somebody basically telling you what you should do, almost like the angel on your shoulder, but you don't really want the angel on your shoulder at that moment in time. So I'll put that as her worst thing for now.
I have an ick.
Yeah, these are
My ick is you make unrealistic plans. Like today, for instance, you said that we should I should get to you for one. When
No, but that we had an issue at the hotel.
and then she makes plans, but when things change, she doesn't communicate it. Lila does what she wants to do when she wants to do it.
Yeah,
because I could have been doing other things. And she said that she needed to leave the house at 3, and we basically started filming at 10 to 3. Lola will give you anxiety, making you think things are an emergency when they're not. So then now, after knowing her for so long, you don't know when things... I always answer the phone, but if Lola's calling you 3 times, wouldn't you be thinking that there's a real issue? But it could just be... Or just, did you not see my call? And then, anyways, what are you doing? And it's like, I don't understand. I'm running out of the bath, still wet, to get to the phone, and it's for nothing.
I know. I inherited it from my mum because I know that gives me anxiety. And now you see, generational curses, you're handing it over
Or
to
she
your
sends
friends.
pings
on
on iPhones.
Ping, 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 ping.
Pings or messages that are nothing.
And your phone is vibrating. You actually are the reason why I used to put my phone on silent, because I used to think, why are you writing ping so many times?
And if you don't know what a ping is, it's if you
I'm
had
not
a
even with my
BB,
phone.
it used to be the vibration that you'd get on a BBM.
So why is it you can respond to your man straight away, but for
I don't respond to I don't have a man first of all. I don't respond to any man straight away. Look at you trying to do trick questions. Next question.
We had a man yesterday.
Yeah.
Next question. I never said I had a man. I never said I had a man.
Okay.
Let's get that right. Let's disclaimer.
Can we zoom into my phone, please?
I never said I have a man yesterday. I'm actually telling you. The next question is, what's your favourite thing to do together? On a count of
1, 2, 3, eat!
Oh yeah, eat.
What did you say?
Eat. What am I saying? What did you say?
Food.
She said eat. Yeah, eat. We love to eat together. That is our pastime, our family thing to do. We love to eat.
Where we about to eat at?
Who's the most reliable and why? Well, definitely not me.
But you're not unreliable. But it can depend on what her mood is, depending on what it was. If you ask Liza if I was to ask her for something, I don't think she's going to say no to me.
I'm to meet you somewhere,
but yeah,
I'm not going to meet you.
I mean, if I had to, maybe just say I was dying and I needed somebody that I know is going to come and save me, it's going to be Lola, because Liza might say she needs to stop to get a sandwich or something.
The other day I was not.
Why did we start the brand?
It's a mixture of things. Like, if anyone ever says they started a brand because they just love stuff, it's lying. The whole point is so stressful, and there's so much that goes into it that just have to. Let's be real here. You're trying to make an end to a means, in the sense that you want your life to be better, you want to be more successful. So the main thing for us is that we wanted to improve our quality of life. That was definitely the first thing. Whether that's through money or whatever, it's to improve our quality of living, life. To be able to have more experiences, to gain more experiences, because it's nice, we've grown up together, we've had fun, but sometimes you want to travel the world, sometimes you want to, do other things for other people, whether it be charity or whatever, but sometimes what you have in front of you is just not enough.
I would say also, when you are have close friends and you don't just want to be the only one that's winning, in a certain sense, you want to win together. And I feel like having a business with your friends is one of the easiest ways to win together, and that way you end up, everyone ends up coming up, elevating at the same time together, and it's just fun.
And nepotism. so that we can hire people that are like us. And we have a child, so that we can have things to give to our children. Because, yeah, it's hard being black and fly in London.
Yeah.
Yeah, and most importantly as well is
Create generational
creating
wealth.
clothes that we actually like, we actually want to wear.
Because the high street is not popping.
Mm-hmm.
How much did we start with?
It was like 3,000.
Yeah, I feel like we've answered this everywhere.
Yeah, we've answered this quite a few times. I don't remember the amount at this point because it's been so
long
many
ago.
numbers, but somewhere in the past video it's there. But it's definitely a couple of grand you need. What's it like getting into business with friends?
I want to go first. It's fun, that's the first word. It's exciting, exhilarating in the sense that when you're making sales and it's great, it's like, whoa, this is our lives. Like, it's one thing winning by yourself and then you now have to think which friends can I tell, but you can literally tell your best friends, did you see how many sales we got today? But then on the same time, it's very difficult because when you're going through tough times in the business, things aren't necessarily going to plan. These are the two people that are experiencing the exact same thing as you. So even though you're upset and you're feeling down, who you would normally cry to about personal related issues, you can't cry to them because we have to cry together. Do you understand? So it's like, it is fun at times, but also it can be a bit like, I feel a bit trapped because it's like, who do you really talk to? Like sometimes I might speak to my parents or maybe like a few other extra friends, but the level of detail you might want to go into is limited because you don't want to stress out your parents, but then you also don't want to necessarily share things with people that are not in this inner circle.
When you like spend all your time with people and then work with them, it's like with your colleagues at work, you kind of like are done with them. But then it's like sometimes in your personal time, it's not really a shut off from the business because the business is 24/7. So we find that, yeah, we're always kind of talking about the business. So you want to like, yeah, just take a bit of a detour from like the negative stuff, but you can't really. Like obviously the business is not always negative, so sometimes it's great because you can like talk about positive things at any time of the day, but when it's a harder period of time, it's like, yeah, that can follow you from the moment you wake up till when you go to sleep.
It starts to break the clips down.
It's too much.
It's been 11 minutes.
So technical.
I just wanted to add as well on that one, that basically this all depends on your people as a general, in the sense that I think everyone can be petty to some degree, but like I said, our goal is similar. Our goal is the same. So when we have personal issues, let's say we've had a back and forth or an argument or something like that, like aside from the business, nothing to do with the business, or even if we had an argument to do with the business still goes on. We still have to get it together. If we know we have a deadline tomorrow, we still have to have the meeting that involves, we still have to work together. Whereas I feel like a lot of people, whether it's sibling business relationships or friend business relationships or anything like that, a lot of people have their arguments and then they won't do what they need to do, and then that's how the business will completely destroy, and before you know it, they're out of business.
How do you solve disputes between each other?
Well, there's 3 of us, so it's very unlikely that we're all going to be disputing about the same thing. So fortunately, there's going to be one person who's probably impartial that is able to, just talk it out, I guess.
Next question. What's something you wish you knew about having a business with your friends? I guess maybe thinking from a naive point of view, like maybe being younger, you might think that it's going to be all hunky-dory, you're not going to have any disagreements, or disagreements that could maybe turn into like quite big arguments and stuff, in the sense of like, let's say we don't like the same things, and I think maybe those are like little things that you might naively just think, oh, we're joining a business together with our friends, it's going to be so good, we get along, we like the same things, but when it comes to business decisions, sometimes you have to separate things.
When it's low, it can be really low. I guess people always paint this picture of start today and in 5 years' time you will be here. But it's literally up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up. Like it's a roller coaster.
And last question, what would you change about the brand? I think if you'd asked me this question a couple months ago, maybe like summertime, maybe there'll be a few things, but I feel like now we kind of had a meeting amongst ourselves and we kind of wanted to realign what our brand is and how we showcase our brand to everyone. So I feel like we're actually on the right path to getting there. I feel like the things that I would want to change are things that, it's hypothetical things in the sense of like, we'd want more people to wear women's, or we'd want our brand to be bigger.
I don't know.
It's a bit of a weird question.
I get, if it's like going back, then I guess some of our older designs, I mean, I wish we never done them, but I think.
But I guess that's with brand development. I think everyone kind of looks back and it's like, wow, I wish I could do that. Mine is more, I wish we kind of started sooner so that some of the mistakes we're making now, we kind of made them earlier so we had more room to adapt. But again, everything is where it needs to be at that specific moment in time. But the other thing I would change is probably us hiding behind the brand when it first started. I think we kind of had this taboo that we're black and we don't want people to, because I feel like at the time we started our business, specifically small businesses that started on Instagram, I feel like they had a negative stigma. Being a black owned business before the whole George Floyd thing, had a negative association, and I feel like when we started, we weren't ready to put ourselves as the face of the brand for whatever reason it may be. Maybe we didn't want to get a certain stigma. I don't know who it was, but I think someone asked their colleague, a white person at work, oh, would you buy from a black owned business? And I think the person said no, and the reason was like, why? And I can't remember what the reason was, but back then I think we cared too much about what other people thought. So as a result, we kind of just hid behind the brand, put all our efforts into the brand, and didn't really think about our own personal brands and who we are. I wish that we didn't do that, and I wish we really didn't care.
That's it. Bye guys, thanks. Let's watch our channel. Bye.